haven't lost yet! I've always been the weakest, and I've been mocked for it. I haven't lost yet! I've always been the weakest, and I've been mocked for it at every turn. But I still try as hard as I can. You see, I've been leveling up this whole time.
So are we live yet or
I
what?
can't get stronger that way. I'll fight, I'll level up, and take what's mine.
No, I just want to get prayers to go out to the family. I want everybody to put some prayers up for tonight in his situation.
Prayers up for what?
I told you he was late for work. So for the family out there that's listening, put some prayers up. Please pray for tonight. He was late for work, rushing. And apparently he was like trying to put his jeans on real fast, and he got his wing got caught in the zipper. And so tonight had to go to the emergency room right now. He's getting, I think he said 25 stitches and it's private. So tonight will not be on tonight's show.
I forgot how to do this.
That is painful. I'm not even thinking about the stitches, just the fact that your jaw is in the zipper and they got to unzip it to get you out of there to get the man. Please pray for tonight. Speedy recovery, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of KeMedicine. Angie, what number is this?
This is 40 something.
Episode 45 of KeMedicine.
When I come back like Jordan wearing the 4-5, it ain't to play games with you.
I am your host. I'm trying to find. You might have to be Uncle Hotep tonight. I don't have a backup. I don't have a backup screen. You're gonna have to be Uncle Hotep tonight. I'm your host, Hotep Jesus, and I am joined by one of the players of polarity, one half of the duo of dynamism, one half of the soldiers of science, one half of the killers of keto. I am here with the illustrious, the unforgettable, the all-publishing Coach Inky. Inky, how you feeling today, bro?
I'm good. You know, I'm wearing sweats. You feel me?
Huh?
I'm wearing sweats. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no zipper. I'm straight.
What is going on with the mask?
What mask?
The golden mask on your face.
That's crazy.
You got a golden anonymous V for Vendetta mask on, and I'm just trying to figure out.
Remember. It was the 1st of December.
This is crazy, chat. One in the chat if you've seen that movie. One in the chat if you've seen that movie.
That is one of my favorite movies of all time. Period.
Chat, Dr. Tanai Ricks at a conference a
What are
very
you talking about?
important
What are you,
scientific
don't start putting no smut on his
conference.
name. Just tell the truth.
Okay, this is a national conference in the A.
Crazy.
He's unable to make it tonight. He's doing important PhD, doctorate level, sciencey stuff.
I'm putting smut on his name.
So he'll be back next week. A couple of these topics I gotta save for him, but I have a topic I wanted to start today's show off with you, Inky, and one in particular. We gotta just jump right out the window. And I know some of this may be rehashing, but we need to know. We need to know definitively. Gentleman says, let me bring it up on the screen. Hold on a second. Let me get this up on the screen so everybody can see this well. You know, it looks like we got some internet hoteps here. Okay. His name is Maximum Pain 333. And he says, our true skin color as people of melanin is green.
He got that from Dr. Inky.
Got that from you.
Yeah.
Melanin is like chlorophyll to the body.
No. That's why I don't like plagiarists and remixers.
Melanin is not like chlorophyll in the body?
No. And it has nothing to do with the skin being green.
What? Why can we not compare? I mean, the chlorophyll translates light into energy for the plants.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't metabolize and
that is a gross oversimplification.
Isn't there some sort of carbohydrate anabolic process?
That is a gross oversimplification.
So what's really happening?
Chlorophyll performs photosynthesis.
And what is photosynthesis?
It is turning light into apples, grapes,
food,
fruits, carbohydrates, sugar.
Right. So energy.
No.
Carbs are not used for energy?
Carbs are used for energy, but carbs are not energy. Carbs have to be metabolized for energy. So melanin does not do that. Melanin performs photovoltaism.
Wait a second. Let's go back. So carbohydrate, sole purpose is not energy. Does it have any other purpose?
The purpose of carbohydrate, right, does not change the fact that chlorophyll and melanin do not perform the same function.
Is the role of
Here's
carbohydrates?
Here's what you do
to be a part of a metabolic process.
Go to the Google demons and ask the Google demons to explain to you the difference between photosynthesis and photovoltaism.
No, sir.
Okay.
We haven't gotten to that part of the conversation yet.
Okay. Fair enough.
Does carbohydrate serve any other purpose other than the creation of energy?
Other than the creation of energy?
Mm-hmm. What else does the body do with the carbohydrate?
I mean, I guess.
Okay, so carbohydrate equals energy.
No, it doesn't.
The only thing it does is provide energy.
I mean, in that sense of gross oversimplification, we can say that all matter is energy. So, I mean, we can just say that. We could say that your hoodie equals energy
Let's
because
go
your
further
hoodie
down.
is composed of matter that is made of energy. So we could just say anything. Like we could say that your hoodie is energy or your microphone is energy. Like we could just say anything is energy in that sense.
Okay. So let's go further on down the line here of the
But listen,
carbohydrate. When a
for specificity,
carbohydrate is a
hold on,
part of a
listen.
metabolic process, what about that metabolic process creates energy?
The destruction of the carbohydrate.
Okay. The splitting of the carbon and the oxygen
Not exactly,
and the
no.
hydrogen.
Not exactly, no.
Then what is it?
So the process of metabolism is you do separate the carbon, the hydrogen, and the oxygen, but it's the splitting of the hydrogen atom that provides the energy.
What happens with the carbon and the oxygen?
The carbon and the oxygen get sent back out of the body as a waste product.
So they just riding along.
Kinda, sorta. We could simplify it that way. That's where we get carbon dioxide.
Mm,
2 oxygens for every 1 carbon.
right.
And that goes back out to the atmosphere. That is our part that we play in creating the stabilized exchange between plants and animals.
Okay. So now when we're speaking of melanin, you're saying the term photovoltaic?
Photovoltaic, sure.
Is that what you just said?
Same thing, yeah. Photovoltaic, photovoltaism, same thing.
Photovoltaic and then melanin? Let's see. Let's see what it says about photovoltaic.
No, I asked you to compare photovoltaic to photosynthesis. That's what I told you to ask the Google demons.
Versus photosynthesis. Okay, here we go. Photovoltaic versus photosynthesis. Let's see what we got here, chat. All right. PV. Photovoltaics and photosynthesis both convert sunlight into energy, but differ fundamentally in process and output. PV converts light directly into electrical energy via inorganic semiconductors, while photosynthesis converts light into stored chemical energy, glucose, using biological systems. Okay. PV is generally more efficient for electricity generation, while photosynthesis is optimized for biological growth. Okay, I'm a little confused here.
So every pigment basically interacts with light. That's what pigment does.
Okay.
And depending on the chemical makeup, which is usually differed by less of a geometry thing and more of um, mineral placement, that's going to determine what the pigment does with the light on the output side. So you're always going to have a relationship between photons and electrons. That is
But it's
the
saying,
relationship of the Feynman constant.
but what do we need electrical energy for? Like what electrical energy are we getting from melanin? What are we about to do with that electrical energy?
Uh, aliveness,
Aliveness?
aliveness. I just Don King that. I just came up with that.
What does aliveness mean?
It means that your body is electronic, every single part of it. So there is not a thing of what we would do with electricity, is more so as what we would do without electricity in our body. We would be dead. So your body uses electricity um, fundamentally different, I guess. So even, you know what? I guess this is a great opportunity to introduce everyone to the series of books called Black's Anatomy, right? Um, so go to Amazon if you don't have Black's Anatomy books, and go get the Black's Anatomy books, right? Um, it is a much more it's similar to Gray's Anatomy book series, but it is much more centered around pigment, electricity, light, and magnetism. But the thing that we have to know about electricity is that when we say the term electricity, we usually think of power. Power is what we think of. And we neglect the fact that electricity is also used for and as information. So every single cell, every single organelle in every cell, every every tissue set made out of cells all require a constant stream of information in order to function in space and time. So it's not just that we need electricity in terms of power, but we also have to have a constant stream of information, which is chemical, which is electrical, which is luminous, and also magnetic.
Mm. Mm. Now, what kind of information? Because they say, melanin it converts sunlight, into energy, electrical energy to be specific. Um, so what information is the sun giving us? What is it? Is it whispering our ear and telling us the lottery numbers, who to bet on
For some of us, sure.
Really?
Yeah, some people hit the lotto all the time.
The sun gave them some information.
I mean, maybe not the sun, but they got it from somewhere.
So what kind of information is coming from the sun? What is this information? Is it more aliveness? Like, hey, stay alive. I'm just, everything's all Gucci in the universe.
You could definitely say aliveness, or you could go to Amazon right now and we have another book series. This book series is based on spirituality.
Okay.
The first book, which is the main textbook of the book series, is called Eat Real Food.
Eat Real Food.
Eat Real Food.
Okay.
Right? And we answer a lot of the questions that you're posing right now in depth, because RFK and Mike Tyson have started a great movement. Can even be considered to be a divine movement in terms of getting people interested in the food. Don't smile or smirk when I say it's an amazing movement, okay? RFK and Mike Tyson are at the front of this thing. They got a lot of people talking about eating real food again, comparing, synthetic food and chemical food to natural food. So doesn't matter who's the face or how it got started. All that matters is we have millions and millions of people now interested in their health and eating better. But the question is, what is real food? So what we do is go really deep into what real food is. And we start with the big questions, the popular questions, and we take it all the way down to exploring what it is that is in a nutrient. Like, what is in a vitamin? What is a vitamin made of? What distinguishes a vitamin from another one? If we take it to a molecule space, or an atom space, what is that? What is it that makes it unique? What is it that makes the body be able to use it? And we look at when we look at these arrangements of electrons, standing waves, the patterns that they're in hold information and translate that information to the cells. That information is needed in intervals, which is the reason why we have certain vitamins and nutrients that we have to have every single day. And if we go too long without them, illness occurs, disease, sickness. So we're very much cyclical creatures, children of our home star, and we're engaged in a constant conversation. The conversation is mainly driven by, vitamin D. That can be the basic, beginning of the conversation. But vitamin D then drives blood pressure, kidney activity, bone density. And if we just stop right there with vitamin D regulating blood flow, right? Because if you're button pressing over there, right? You want to ask the Google demons the correct question. Otherwise, the Google demons don't have good answers.
Vitamin D is essential for bone density as it enables the body to absorb calcium, a key structural component of bone, from food and supplements. Without sufficient vitamin D, bones become weak, brittle, and prone to fractures.
Right. But here's the thing with that. A lot of times, we don't realize the implications of that. Because your bone is responsible for producing all of your blood every second, that means that vitamin D is the master regulator for that. When we hear about vitamin D regulating the immune system, we don't realize vitamin D is regulating the immune system through the bone. The bone is the interface because the bone is responsible for producing the immune system. All of that comes from bone marrow. So when the bone gets brittle, your ability to produce blood and immune cells and all those things take a hit, right? But then go to the Google demons and look up vitamin D versus angiotensin.
Hold on. Yes, bones,
Angiotensin.
specifically the bone marrow inside them, are the primary site for producing immune cells. Bone marrow contains hematopoietic, what did it say?
Yep.
Stem cells that differentiate into white blood cells such as lymphocytes, B and T cells, which defend the body against infections. Wow. Uh-oh.
Now, the
Now
bone
ask
marrow.
it what?
Now, hold on. Before we skip past, the bone marrow is in a constant conversation with the kidneys. The kidneys is telling the bone marrow exactly how much blood and immune cells to produce at all times. This is one of the reasons why kidney failure leads to immediate death. So now go ahead and look up.
Bone marrow and kidneys are intrinsically linked through both regenerative mechanisms and disease processes. Bone marrow stem cells can help repair kidney injuries, but chronic kidney disease often causes bone marrow dysfunction, such as reduced cell production and increased fat infiltration. Conversely, bone marrow diseases like...
Listen, I'm the GOAT for a reason. Just keep moving.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Wait a second. So bone marrow, you said it does what to the kidneys? It tells...
No. I said the kidneys is talking to the bone marrow at all times.
Right.
You already, the Google demons just told you that.
But didn't you say the bone marrow tells the kidneys how much blood to make?
No, I said the kidneys tells the bone marrow how much blood to make.
Oh.
Remember
Damn.
when that guy Chael Sonnen was accusing LeBron of taking steroids?
Who?
Chael Sonnen, the UFC fighter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the steroid he accused LeBron of taking is called EPO. EPO is made naturally in your kidney, and it tells the bone marrow to produce more blood.
Mm.
The more blood you have in circulation, the more oxygen you have in circulation. The more oxygen you have in circulation, the higher the endurance goes up.
Right.
Right. That's the steroid that the bike guy was using. Lance, is it Lance Armstrong?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that the name of the bike guy?
Um,
The guy
yeah,
who won all of the bike records?
right, and he had to give up one of his titles or something like that.
Right. He was on EPO.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now look up vitamin D. Now, so now we finished with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So vitamin D and angiotensin.
And angio.
Tensin, Tensin. And then you might as well throw in aldosterone. Just throw all three of those in there. Vitamin D, angiotensin, aldosterone. Just throw all three in.
All right, let's see. Vitamin D acts as a crucial negative regulator of the renin angiotensin aldosterone system. RAS. RAS. RAAS. With deficiency leading to elevated renin, increased angiotensin 2, and higher blood pressure, as shown in studies. Active vitamin D suppresses renin gene transcription, helping to prevent hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and chronic kidney disease. While deficiency is linked to high renin, vitamin D supplementation shows mixed results in reversing this in human trials. Wait. So the vitamin D, in a way, is regulating blood pressure.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Wow.
So, and then we also have blood itself.
What do you mean, blood itself?
Type in vitamin D and iron.
Okay. Taking iron and vitamin D together is generally safe, effective, and does not cause interaction issues.
Type in vitamin D and iron metabolism. Maybe that'll give you a better answer.
All right, here we go. Vitamin D and iron metabolism. Vitamin D plays a critical role in iron metabolism by suppressing epsilon, a hormone that regulates iron absorption, allowing for higher iron availability. Oh, snap. Conversely, iron deficiency can impair vitamin D activation, highlighting a complex, potentially bidirectional relationship where deficiency in one can exacerbate the other, often leading to anemia. Wow.
So when you look at the scientific name for vitamin D, it's cholecalciferol, which tells you exactly what vitamin D does. Vitamin D regulates cholesterol, it regulates calcium, and it regulates iron. Chola for cholesterol, calcia for calcium, and ferrol for iron. Cholecalciferol.
It say Khloe Kardashian. That's what this thing say right here. It say Khloe.
Well, it's all right. The Google demons are allowed to have a brain fart as well.
Cholecalciferol, vitamin D3.
There you go.
Produced in the skin via UVB light and found in animal-based foods.
Now stop right there for a second. Let's go back to the inception of the conversation where we was talking about information.
Yeah.
So now UVB is not light in general or sunlight in general. It is a specific band of sunlight, which means it's carrying a very specific type of information that is translated into an initiator for the synthesis of vitamin D. So UVB goes through the skin and initiates the conversion of cholesterol into vitamin D. So that's the beginning part of the name, cholecalciferol. It turns cholesterol into vitamin D. It takes sunlight and turns it into vitamin D, and then that vitamin D then regulates calcium and iron via bone and blood. So that conversation that we're having with the sun is directly in control of how your blood and your bones are constantly remodeling themselves every single day.
Now it says ergo calciferol derived
No,
from.
it doesn't say that. It says go to AmericanHealer.website right now if you want to get some of that vitamin D. That's what it says.
AmericanHealer.website. Ergo calciferol vitamin D derived from plants and fungi.
That is the fungal vitamin D2 that they put in milk. That is not D3. And even though it can be considered vegan, it is definitely fungal.
So that's what they mean by here. They say used in fortified foods.
Mm-hmm.
That's them putting it in the milk.
Yep.
When you get it in the milk, you get D2.
Yeah, because it's not actually coming from the cow as they were implying for the first few decades. Because if the cow made it, it would be D3.
I see. Now it says you can find this D3 in animal-based foods.
Well, because animals make it, like me and you. So if somebody was to like eat, an animal, then you'd get, whatever they got floating around.
Because naturally it has vitamin D3 in its body, so we're getting the D3 from them that way. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Kidneys and the sites that it's making it is the kidneys and the liver.
So that's what we should eat.
Kidneys and liver? You trying to do your liver king thing?
I mean, people.
I just said that they should go to the website to get the D. I don't know. I mean, people at home, do as you choose. If you find it easier.
But don't people like the liver? Do people eat the liver? They say the liver's good for you. Eat the liver.
When it comes to eating meat, the liver is probably the most nutritious part of the animal.
Okay.
Like if we were going to go price, because with me, it's always balling on a budget. If we were going to go price per nutrient density, it would be liver.
There you go.
But if we were going to go availability and ease, I would say AmericanHealer.website.
Paul said D2 is poorly absorbed. Is that correct?
I think that Paul is rather accurate.
Paul in here like, yeah, and I read this is on this page of the Inky book, and he got the whole book. He got the whole thing memorized and shit.
Come on now. Paul is a genius. Paul is a genius for that reason.
He telling everybody in the chat what's gonna happen before it happened in the movie.
Yeah, because he got the playbook.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so UVB, this is information, and this information is coming into the body via melanin. Now, white people don't have melanin, so that means they're not getting the information, right?
So, because Tanai is not here, you're just going to troll for 2 hours. That is disgusting. You know damn well. Not since the Nation of Islam's heyday has anyone been running around saying that white people do not have any melanin. That is pure gobbledygook.
That's what they saying right now.
Nobody's saying that right now.
That's what they saying right now. I was just in my
No,
mentions. There's a
nobody's
post
saying
on
that.
my page right here. What do you know about melanin? This is the question I asked, and this is what people said. It causes criminal behavior.
Wow. That's crazy.
Somebody else said, doesn't it help you sleep?
They talk about melatonin. That's crazy.
Somebody said you were born a poor white child, then you accidentally ate a melanin supplement. Ta-da. Does it lead to a prison sentence? Is another response.
Wow. You got a lot of racists on your page.
Somebody said, wish I had more during the summer months.
Okay. So out of 10 people, you got one like smart person.
You have more than I do.
Can't read into that.
Africans saw the albinos as shamans.
I'm not sure if that's racism or I don't know what that is. Let's just pass.
It can help you go to sleep.
That's another idiot. I mean, uninformed person.
Isn't that the stuff you need to sleep good?
All right, let's just stop right there.
Chef Bay said, prone to crime.
Let's just stop right there.
Another person said,
hello. Let's just stop right there.
Somebody else said, higher chance of sickle cell.
Actually, that's accurate.
That's accurate?
That is accurate.
Why is that accurate?
It is out of context, but it is accurate. Black folks have a much higher risk of sickle cell than anyone else.
Mateo says, what the fuck? Who the fuck cares?
Stop reading. Stop doing that, sir.
He said, who the fuck cares? Which one of those do you want to tackle first?
What? Why would I be tackling those? This is disgusting. This is idiots.
Huh? This is helpful information. This is what people think. How would you categorize?
Jesus said he wasn't sent to everyone. The Bible says that they were only going to save 144,000. So my point is, it is beyond the scope of Dr. Inky to try and save them all. And, we can only do what we can do. Those right there is a group of unlearned, unread mongrels.
Why are white people apprehensive to this
conversation of melanin?
Yeah.
Now that is a good question. They're
upset I brought it up.
Because, it's the bane of their existence. And it's not the bane of their existence because of what people would think. Like, people would immediately go, oh yeah, because of the skin cancer thing. And like, no, it's not because of skin cancer and all that. It's the bane of their existence because the modern era was created based on the lie that Black people were inferior based on their skin color. And so every day, someone in a science lab makes a scientific discovery that shows that all life depends on pigment. Which at one time, and this is the reason why, again, everybody should go to Amazon and get the book series called Black's Anatomy. Because Gray's Anatomy, which is the book series that the American medical school system is built on, has quite a few textbooks where they describe melanin as a waste product and nothing more.
Move to your right a little bit. Over a little bit. Melanin as a waste product? chat. You see what I gotta deal with? Yeah, that's good.
Melanin as a waste product.
Melanin as a waste product. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is that for so long, we just wrote it off as white racism. And it is not, even though it would seem that way, because, like I said, a lot of the modern era was built on, this concept that Black folks were inferior. And the thing that made Black folks inferior was their Blackness. So once science discovered that Blackness is based on this pigment substance, obviously the textbooks needed to reflect this somehow. And so you have this idea that, pigment is a waste product. And, you know, the two things are unrelated. The divine aspect of it is obviously the last 50 years we've learned, took a drastic 360, to say the least. But one of the things that we go through in the Black's Anatomy books is the history of the medical establishment and medical school in America and medical discovery. So what we would have initially thought of as racism is just mostly ignorance. They were building the airplane as they were flying it. They didn't know anything about the human body when they first opened the first medical school in 1765. Right? Today, we know that the human body is made mostly out of water. In 1765, they did not know what a water molecule was yet. So if we know today that the human body is made mostly out of water, and they did not understand that a water molecule was two hydrogens and one oxygen until the 1800s, then it's safe to say they had no idea what the human body was in 1765 when they opened the first medical school. Right? We don't get the word calorie or what a calorie is until the mid 1800s. So there's the divorce between nutrition and the quote unquote modern doctor. They didn't even know what a calorie was until the mid 1800s. So first they discover water, well, not discover water, but get the scientific underpinning to what a water molecule is, early 1800s. 1840s, the concept of a calorie starts to develop. The early 1900s is where we get Carl Landsteiner, right? We get Carl Landsteiner, who's coming on the heels of Maxwell and Max Planck. And Carl Landsteiner comes with, the blood types and all that. And right after Carl Landsteiner, we get, or right in the same pocket, we get the discovery of vitamins. When we discover B vitamins is the window that nature or God, your choice, used to teach modern man the quantum mechanics of the human body.
Vitamin B.
Vitamin B. Because when we're talking about real nutrition, which is the conversation at the beginning of the show, to understand how food really works, to understand the relationship of energy and information to health and nutrition, right on time, son. Blue Magic. AmericanHealer.website.
Move it to your right again. There it is, the Blue Magic.
Perfect time for a commercial break. No. So they're like, yeah, now let us see you drink something through that mask.
Paul talking about where is your pen and paper, HJ? Hold on a second. Let me time this nigga out. This nigga's moving too fast in my chat.
Yeah, Paul, get him.
5-minute time out, Paul. Mind your motherfucking business, first of all. Okay? I got all this shit up here, nigga.
Hotep Jesus?
Yeah, get him, Paul. So anyway.
You write it down.
Paul don't need to write it down. He got the books. Anyway,
Vitamin B is quantum mechanics.
well, human nutrition. So that's another part of the problem. Remember, the medical system, medical school is established in the late 1700s.
1765.
This is the world of Newtonian physics.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as science is concerned, the smallest thing in existence.
Paul is definitely AI. Paul definitely AI.
No. Paul is absolutely human. Listen, see, it just seems that way because Paul is on the books. Let's go, Paul! So, but what happens is...
He ain't on the chat right now because he in timeout, though.
Hold up, Jesus.
Fine. He's flipping through the pages of the book. It's all right. So what happens is the world, modern science, is under the impression that atoms are the smallest thing.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so everything
but
is
photons
looked at
are, right?
Huh?
Photons are the smallest thing, right?
Hold on for a second, sir.
Particles?
No things are actually the smallest things.
Okay.
No things.
Wow. There you go.
Because a proton is not actually a thing. Neither is an electron. So in the books, we actually call them no things because they're literally no things. They're not things. They're not nothing, but they're not a thing either. So what I'm saying is, in Newtonian physics, the atom is the smallest thing.
Yeah.
Right. But when you eat something, your body breaks atoms down into what atoms are made of. We didn't learn about that outside of nature. Nature had to teach us. It taught us through the vitamins. Because when we got our hands on vitamin B1, we began to understand how carbohydrates were broken down. So now we learn in the other part of the photosynthesis. Remember, we started the show with that, photosynthesis. So as the plants are building these storage items for hydrogen, our body breaks down the storage item to release the power of the sun. The power of the sun is not exactly the light. The power of the sun is the hydrogen. Remember that the stars are powered by hydrogen. We got that so far? Okay. So the power of the sun is the hydrogen. And what our body does is break down the hydrogen atom. And it uses the protons and the electrons to facilitate recycling water molecules and ATP.
It sounds like nuclear fusion or some nuclear reactions. It sounds nuclear.
Well, it's kind of nucleus. It's kind of, but it's not, right? Because it's not messing with the nucleus of atoms. The thing is, when you're talking about nuclear fission or fusion or physics, it's usually centered in the nucleus of an atom. But that's what makes hydrogen so magical, is hydrogen does not have a nucleus. Hydrogen doesn't have a nucleus. It's just one electron and one proton. Every other atom beyond hydrogen has a nucleus. Hydrogen doesn't have a nucleus. So there's no nuclear fission or fusion required. Got it?
Yeah.
So the thing is, once we break that down, once we go through the Krebs cycle or the tricarboxylic acid cycle, and we break that hydrogen atom down, we no longer are in the world of Newtonian physics. The laws of Newton kind of fall to the wayside, and now we're in a new realm because we're subatomic. And now we're dealing with electrons and protons. So this is the world of quantum mechanics.
So go ahead.
Oh, so in this process, right, we go from vitamin B1, which is we're discovering how carbohydrates in the same era, carbohydrates are broke down because carbohydrates are broke down in your body with vitamin B1. So if you don't have vitamin B1, it can cause you all kinds of problems with breaking down carbohydrates, which is one of the reasons why diabetics have to have vitamin B1. Then you get the vitamin B2 and vitamin B3. Vitamin B2 and B3 are the carriers of the electrons into the electron transport chain. So NAD and FAD are vitamin B2 and vitamin B3. These are what carries the electrons to do their job. So the B vitamin family is effectually allowing us to understand how energy is metabolized and at the same time required for energy metabolism. So now, like I said, we're in this quantum space.
How did you connect the B to the hydrogen to the subatomic particles?
Well, you can ask the Google demons. Look up vitamin B1, thiamine.
Thiamine.
Yeah. And carbohydrate metabolism.
And carbohydrate metabolism. Okay. Let's see what say here. Thiamine, B1, is essential for carbohydrate metabolism, acting as a coenzyme. Convert glucose into energy.
Sounds about right, right?
It drives key enzymes that break down sugars, making it vital for cellular energy production, ATP, and metabolism.
Sounds about right, eh?
Okay, but where's the hydrogen? Oh, I see it right there. Dehydrogenase.
Dehydrogenase. That's an enzyme that's going to interact directly with the hydrogen.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. So it's going to pull the hydrogen out that bitch and then.
Well, the Krebs cycle is going to break it down.
Right.
So the carbon's going to go that way, the oxygen's going to go that way, and the hydrogen's going to go that way. Now you can look up vitamin B2 and FAD.
Vitamin B2 and what?
FAD. Frank Anthony David.
Okay. It say here. Shout out to Paul. Thank you for the gifted. Flavin, adenine, denucleotide. Is a vital coenzyme derived from vitamin B2, riboflavin.
Yeah.
I've seen riboflavin before.
Yeah. You got some of those Dr. Inky books.
That acts as, not sold on the back of my cracker box. The Cheez-Its got riboflavin.
Well, yeah, because it has vitamin B. It's fortified with B vitamins.
Oh. That acts as an electron carrier in redox reactions, essential for energy production, metabolism. Wait a second. It's a lot of electricity going on here.
That's a fact. Now you can look up vitamin B3 and NAD. NAD, Nancy Anthony David.
Is a vital coenzyme found in all living cells, essential for energy production, DNA repair, and sirtuin activation, which regulate aging. Vitamin B3, including niacin, nicotinamide riboside, act as crucial precursor that the body converts into NAD, helping to maintain its levels. Okay, so, all right, this is, but I'm still not understanding. After you break down the all right, so you have a hydrogen atom, right? So basically what you're saying is once we remove the electrons and protons from said thing, it doesn't exist anymore because we now have those charges, and those charges are probably
hold on. Let's start back here. This is how I do it in the class. When we go to photosynthesis, it may be helpful to understand the word carbohydrate.
Okay.
So a water molecule, and it also helps to understand the reason why it's even more insane that they started medical school without understanding a water molecule. The water molecule is not only the basis for the human body, a water molecule is the basis for photosynthesis. A carbohydrate is a hydrated
Wait, say that
carbon
last part
atom.
again.
A water molecule is not only the basis for the human body,
Mm-hmm.
it is the basis of photosynthesis. And we started this combo around photosynthesis.
Mm. Yeah, because without the water, the plants can't eat.
Well, yeah, that too, of course that. But what I'm saying is a carbohydrate
Is the water.
is a hydrated carbon atom.
Right.
So when you take one carbon
And put it
atom
with some water.
and you attach one water molecule to it, that is the basic unit of all carbohydrates.
What's carbohydrate atomic thingamajiggy?
Well, when you look up,
Is it
here's what you
CH3?
ask
How
the
do you
Google
write it?
demons. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
What you ask the Google demons is, we know that H2O is water.
Uh-huh.
So ask H2O plus carbon if that is the basic unit of a carbohydrate.
Plus carbon
Yeah,
is
CH2O.
basic unit
Yeah, CH2O.
of carbohydrate. Let's see. Actually, the basic unit of carbohydrate is CH2O.
Yeah, that's what the blood clot.
So it's literally a carbon attached to a water atom.
Right. So, and the hydrogen thing is the main important part for the energy production. So, in a carbohydrate, when you make carbohydrates, the carbon is kind of just the carrier. Your body really doesn't use the carbon for anything except for, like, in very limited spaces, you have one carbon metabolism for methylation and epigenetics and all kinds of that. It gets to be a more complicated conversation we'll have down the line. But for what we need to know, when your body grabs the glucose, which is a 6 carbon chain, so you have 6 of those units, that CH2O,
Mm-hmm.
6 of those makes up a glucose molecule. Get it?
6 of those make a glucose molecule.
Yeah. And so when you're breaking down glucose in your body,
You breaking
you're
down.
you're going to be breaking those apart. And your body's going to take the hydrogens and is going to break the hydrogens apart and turn the hydrogens into just pure energy, which we call electrons and protons. Is that fried duck right there from Tony Yayo's video?
Barbecue chicken.
Oh, okay. It's got that Popeyes again. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
No, it's local.
It's disgusting.
Vitamin B.
No, 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 sir.
D.
No. Vitamin ASS.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Those are literally chicken's ass.
This is a wing.
Mm-hmm. With a little ass on it.
There's no ass on this.
Yeah. You tearing into it. That's fine.
It's banging too.
I'm sure it is.
So
You ever heard of those polyaromatic hydrocarbons?
mm-mm.
Well, those are the cancer-making agents that are in that chicken.
We got to kiss it up to God.
No. God told you to read them books. That's what God said. God said, no, 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 no. You saved the kissing up to God for things that you can't handle. I gave you a good brain and some good eyeballs. You better read them books. Yeah.
Protein.
Mm-mm. Anyway, so once we get to breaking down the hydrogen to electrons and protons, we now enter the world of traveling waves, standing waves, and quantum mechanics.
And quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
I don't understand that part.
Is that the standard Negro spiritual right there? Are we doing barbecue chicken and macaroni and cheese?
Currently?
Man, I feel like somebody gonna pop out with a whip and start whipping you. That's the Negro spiritual right there. What's your name? Kunta.
It's slave food?
Just say Toby. Just say Toby.
We ain't make it out the hood yet.
Well, it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind.
The state of mind?
It's a state of mind. Some of us have learned to travel with our minds.
What happens to the hydrogen molecule? Is it no longer a hydrogen atom?
It is not. It is no longer a hydrogen atom.
So then, is that crew of electrons and protons riding around passing out flyers, like information?
Yes, they are. They are. And then they come back together again. So they move through the electron transport chain. And then right when they get to the end, complex number 4, they are reunited. Reunited.
Now, are they
so good.
are they coming down the electron transport chain with the hydrogen bandana on their head?
Yep.
Okay.
Thugging. They thugging.
So they know that these electrons is coming from hydrogen.
I think that our cells are smarter than us in that way. Yeah, I would have to make that conclusion from all available data.
Wow. Okay.
That only water is able to do this process, and so yeah, there's that part.
Interesting.
But yeah, so water is reformed in the cell at the end of the electron transport chain.
Once it gets inside the cell, it makes water again.
Pure water, which is the only source of pure water on Earth besides the atmosphere.
Wait, what?
Yeah. The purest water that you will have in your body is from your cells. Your cells is making pure water right now.
What about that $1,000?
Your cells are actually making water from that chicken.
That's fire. They going to work.
They're definitely going to work. You're working them hard. You are actually putting the whip on the backs of your cells.
And everybody need to work out, something.
In slavery. They're saying, Inky, free us. And you Samuel Jackson ass nigga.
So
you gonna let him sleep in the big house?
So they're coming down the electron transport chain. They got the hydrogen bandana on. And then now,
well, you have the electrons coming down the electron transport chain, but the protons are on either side of the electron transport chain.
Oh, they're rolling together.
They're not together. They broken up.
But they rolling together.
They kind of rolling together. They trying to roll together, but the electron transport chain keeping them separate.
Right, but he right outside the window looking and
Right,
following.
looking like, yo, that's my woman right there, or yo, that's my kid right there. Bring me back to my, they looking to be reunited, and that potential, that energy between the two, the attraction, is what is driving ATP production because the
Mm.
protons are following the electrons, and they are what spins the turbine that allows ATP recycling to happen.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like a maglev train.
Very similar. Sure.
That's interesting. Using the polarity of the two to run the engine.
That is a fact.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Now, going back to the whole system though.
That's
right?
Wendy Williams' whole format.
Okay, hold
Hotep,
on.
you're a genius.
You taking a left turn, and we need you to
HotepJesus.com.
get back on track. Just wait a minute. Because we started this with a conversation about pigment. And so what you need to know in context of the conversation about pigment is that the electron transport chain is made out of pigments.
Wait, what?
The electron transport chain is made out of pigments. So the electrons are following a chain of pigment. It is pigment that is able to harness the electrons. So that's the thing about pigments. Pigments is what interfaces with electrons and photons. That is the type of biological tissue or biological material that is designed strictly to interface with light and electricity.
Like a Supreme Court judge.
So, in 1765, when medical school starts, they have no idea what water is, no idea what calories are, no idea what vitamins are. As they're studying the vitamins and they're learning about the water breaking down and all that, that's when they get to the mitochondria. And when they start exploring the mitochondria, that's when they learn about the electron transport chain. So they culminate this information right around the time that they culminate um, the
Darkness.
the understanding of DNA. So DNA and the electron transport chain of mitochondria really get fully mapped out 1963, 1965, 1961, right in that early 1960s. They started like in the 1910s, but they get swaggy 1961 era, somewhere around there. So it's in 1960s that pigment then gets moved up the food chain. So now we know that there's pigment that's required for human life and you can't live without it, right? So the 1960s really begins the exploration to understanding pigment to the point where now pigment is at the center of disease because chronic disease is the main thing that's killing people. And when you look at chronic disease, you have three main things. You have diabetes, you have heart disease, and you have brain disease. The
Okay.
thing that's in common with all of them is when you get to diabetes, you have heme, which is the primary pigment involved in energy metabolism. Inside the heart, you have cardiac melanocytes that regulate the heart rhythm, as well as mitochondria containing the heme, which produces the heart's activity. And then in the brain, you have neuromelanin along with mitochondria. So, at the center or root of diabetes, understanding it and trying to reverse it is mitochondria and heme pigment. At the center of the heart, you have mitochondria and cardiac melanocytes. At the center of the brain, you have mitochondria and neuromelanin. And it gets even more complex in the brain because what makes neuromelanin in the brain is the stuff that does everything else in the brain. So most of your brain is run by norepinephrine or dopamine. And norepinephrine and dopamine are the precursors to neuromelanin. Not to mention that those are the same catecholamines that break down visceral fat. So when they tell you that the dangerous fat is visceral fat, well, the things that make the neuromelanin also gets rid of the visceral fat. So you could imply that people that have a lot of visceral fat are dumb. But, but, you know, the Dr. Inky books are on Amazon for everyone to purchase.
Wow, man. That was a lot.
That was a lot.
That
And
was a
white
lot.
people as well as black people have the same amount of all that.
But that's not what the dude said. He said I got more than him.
Yep. He doesn't have the books.
We
He
got
may
this,
have lots of visceral fat.
we got the same amount of melanin.
The same amount of neuromelanin, definitely. And potentially the same amount of mitochondria. Potentially the same amount of mitochondria.
You're trying to create a nice soft bed for the landing.
Well, there are white people that have more mitochondria than blacks, and there are blacks that have more mitochondria than whites. There are some whites that have more mitochondria than other whites, and there are some blacks that have more mitochondria than other blacks. Like there's not that's not a thing.
On average, do black people have more melanin than white people?
More eumelanin, yes.
Okay. So is
But
that
that's not melanin in general. See, when you talk about melanin, and we're talking about the skin, we're talking about pheomelanin versus eumelanin.
wait, melanin is not in the skin?
Eumelanin is in the skin, but
Oh,
so is pheomelanin.
right.
So we have the same amount of melanocytes in the skin
Mm-hmm.
making melanin.
Okay.
It's just a different type. But it gets more complicated when you find out that light-skinned folks also have pheomelanin, just like white folks.
Right.
Right. So what are we saying? That the light-skinned folks are not black because they don't have eumelanin and they have pheomelanin?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. You have just gotten rid of Steph Curry and Chris Brown. I just want you to understand that we just gave away Steph Curry and Chris Brown.
And Paul.
And Paul. We definitely got rid
And
of
Paul. Okay, he's out of here. He's out of here. He's out of here. So
and the popular Michael Jackson. Just saying.
he's still black. That was makeup.
What about Prince?
Prince really black too. He wore makeup too. So what's the difference between these two? I know eumelanin's carbon is it carbon? No, it's selenium based.
No.
And or dominant.
No, it's just the
and pheomelanin is sulfur.
Yeah, it's just the sulfur. So you have two different types of eumelanin, and you have two different types of pheomelanin. One pheomelanin is produced from glutathione. One pheomelanin is produced from cysteine. If there is no glutathione or cysteine in the matrix when melanin is produced, you will have eumelanin. So the presence of sulfur
negates the pre-creation of eumelanin.
Correct.
Wow.
And it lowers the amount of sun that can be passed through that melanin or that skin safely.
Which means less information.
Yeah.
So, could one conclude that the people, black people, Africans, Netchers, the original man, were designed for the sun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, I guess.
Mm.
That doesn't mean that conclusion would be correct. It just means someone could conclude it.
Is it correct?
Someone could conclude it.
Is it correct?
All life on this planet, all humans and animals specifically, are based on the sun. Without the sun, all life would cease to exist.
So that means that people with the U melanin, black people, the Netcha, Naga, original man, Elohim. I mean, he got a little bonus because
This is why you be going. This is why you attract all those racists into your threads. You're not just rage baiting, you're race baiting the rage.
isn't it safe to say that, what was I saying again?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. The original man, the Elohim, the Netcha, has particular advantages because they're getting more information from the sun.
The
Could
Elohim
it
and the
be
Netchers,
black privilege, dare I say?
that is a black privilege to be out in the sun.
It is a black privilege?
Yeah.
To be
But-
out in the sun or to receive
here's
the
the thing.
information through your U melanin?
But here's the thing. You do know that it's balance that makes life habitable on this planet.
So what you're saying is the black man is God and the white man's the devil?
What I'm saying is that the cold regulates the heat, and the heat regulates the cold. So we have particular advantages out in the extreme heat. Whereas folks that are melanin dominant have particular advantages in the colder climate.
Ain't that the truth?
We all need somebody to lean on.
That's why David Goggins going back in the military.
No. David Goggins is enjoying the grift.
Is that what he doing? He said he's signing back up for the war. You know,
David Goggins knows that if he signs back up, they won't let him go anywhere.
why not?
Because he's 78 years old.
They just increased the age to qualify for the army.
David Goggins will be doing nothing but creating content.
They said they're gonna need some soldiers in Iran.
Yeah, but they looking for you.
They ain't looking for me.
Yeah, they increased the age limit to right up to your age. What's it, 30? What? Mid 35? How old are you? 37, 33? Yeah, you right it there. That's
Let me see what it say. U.S. Army is increasing the maximum enlistment age from 34 to 42.
there you go. That's your window right there. 34 to 42. David Goggins is way outside that window.
I'm outside that window.
No, you ain't outside that window. You right in that window, champ.
I'm outside that window.
No,
I'm safe, chat. I ain't saying nothing for shit. Y'all gonna have to fight this war.
you a YN, baby.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
in there. They coming to get you, champ.
You safe too, Sleepy? Mm-hmm. You just need a
Now
waiver,
they wanna
HJ.
now they want to be OGs. Now they want to be OGs. It was all good just a week ago. You wanted to be a young natural.
Mm-mm. He said, I'm going to fail the physically fit test on purpose. They going to pass you, put you right on that boat to Iran. They don't go fuck.
Period. You definitely passing. You done took all that what's the name of that damn thing that's on your website?
Blue Magic.
No. What's that thing on your website?
Blue Magic. American Healer, that website.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all done got all them damn herbs Hotep Jesus website to make your penis hard and exercise with Strong Dad. Y'all go into the war. They've been watching y'all ordering up all that shit, doing them weightlifting with Strong Dad. Strong Dad is gonna be the leader of the unit. They taking y'all in. Period.
Somebody said to me,
all y'all muscly natures, all y'all putting pictures of your biceps and pecs and all that on the internet. They knocking right on your door.
So to the question, how do you know, what do you know about melanin? Somebody said, how irrelevant have you become? Go back to Starbucks, yo. White people really get on they get in their feelings about the melanin conversation. This is interesting, yo.
Because racism was built on it, and racism became scientific. So you had scientific racism.
He said, I took melanin one time and my dad didn't come back from the store. My credit score dropped 41 points.
So he's making a race joke out of not understanding the difference between melanin and melatonin. Interesting.
Well, he said, you know, it was a black dad joke. All I know is I'm lacking that spice in my DNA. You put melanin in the DNA? I don't think that's a thing, right?
Melanin is not exactly in the DNA.
I don't think you could do that.
Melanin protects the DNA.
Melanin protects the DNA?
Melanin protects DNA.
What?
Melanin protects DNA.
I asked the demons.
Melanin protects DNA. Melanin also protects stem cells.
Playing a lot of different roles.
Melanin plays a lot of different roles.
Melanin protects DNA primarily by acting as a physical and chemical shield against ultraviolet radiation, absorbing and scattering harmful rays before they damage skin cell nuclei. Is that what sunburn is?
That is definitely sunburn.
It acts as a broadband absorber of UV, reducing DNA damage in a concentration-dependent manner, though it is not a complete shield. So otherwise, without it, we just burn. You just burn up like a, what do you call it? A vampire.
Disco Inferno, burn, baby, burn.
Now we back to sinners.
So Apex, that's the name of it. Shout out to the family at home tech. Y'all done took that Apex. Y'all going to the military.
They gonna pull DNA sensitive to UV damage.
Yes, because your DNA is made out of sugar.
The DNA is made out of sugar?
Carbohydrate, like you asked.
Sugar's made
So
out of
that's
carbohydrates?
bringing us around to the other thing.
Wait, sugar's made out of carbohydrates?
Sugar is carbohydrate.
Sugar is carbohydrates.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the demons. Let's see. Yes, sugar is a carbohydrate.
And then go ask the Google demons, because you asked me, is carbohydrate used for anything besides energy?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm telling you the answer. DNA is made out of sugar.
So a carbohydrate can also be used for structure.
Would you like to confirm that with the demons?
Carbs build DNA. Yes, carbs are essential for building DNA. Glucose, a simple sugar, monosaccharide, is broken down to produce ribose 5-phosphate, which is the foundational sugar structure for nucleotides, the building blocks of DNA. These sugars are critical for forming the deoxyribose component of DNA structure. So what happens when you got a polysaccharide?
No, break it down.
You break, so aren't polysaccharides bad for you because you got to break them down to some shit like that?
No,
No?
no. That's that same guy that said something about whatever he was saying in you. That came from him.
Uh-oh.
Fresh out of the emergency room. Talk that talk tonight. Tonight frozen?
Not frozen, nigga. What kind of lies you been telling about me?
No, I just told him what happened to you when you was rushing to work this morning.
Sure about that?
Yeah.
Why you shaking?
I'm not shaking.
That's a lie. We can see you on camera.
Can't see me doing shit. You just need to take your painkillers for all them stitches you got.
No, we leave you unsupervised for one episode. You show up with a cuck mask on. What's going on? Going on?
Is that you voicing your frustration because you won't be able to participate
I'm just asking
in any
questions.
Pornhub activity?
I'm just asking questions.
Well, I'm answering. I think that it's your frustration that you're referring to because you can't grip it.
Absolutely not.
Pamela and Angela are leaving you.
Absolutely not, sir.
Pamela and Angela, you will not be able to see them for the next few weeks.
No, only one of us looks like they're trying to film OnlyFans content on here, and it's not me.
Are you sure? Because it looks like you have on pajamas.
Sir, let's not do that.
You got on a name brand pajamas.
let's not do that.
It looks like that's the hospital gown that you got on from the emergency room.
No, sir. So what is this hospital I'm supposed to be at right now?
Wherever they took you, the Memphis Hospital, they took you. That's the gown, right? Memphis Hospital. You went
Chad,
there.
what is Chad? Talk to me. What's going on? What is this nature been?
Well, that is the end of episode 45.
Shout out to the YouTubers YouTubing over there. I see you.
That is
Chica
the
holding
end
it
of
down.
episode 45.
Lamar Frazier over there on YouTube. Shout out to God Body. Yeah, they holding us down over on YouTube.
I think that was a great episode. I want to just go ahead and commend Tanai for his bravery and being able to come live after such a tragic event this morning.
He was acting up.
I believe it. I've been listening in. He's been doing a little science. The episode was noticeably drier without me on here, but you know, it's all good. You gotta let the old man get his bars off sometimes.
Well, I think you need to save the lube for your private.
Why you worry about my privates? What are we on this episode? Like what's going on with you? You want to talk about something?
You came on here wearing pajamas fresh out of the hospital.
Sir, I have on a collar shirt because I've been in conference and seminars all day. So what are we talking about?
Well, interesting. That's how you want to frame it.
He been acting up tonight.
I believe it.
You take 1 week off and he just
terrible.
He goes left. He needs a manager.
I did get on because I wanted to add something about the last thing y'all were talking about people burning.
Wait, whoa, who's burning? Wait, whoa.
Told you, just left the ER.
sunburn and
Oh,
UV and
okay, my bad.
what are y'all on tonight, man? What okay. So
I just wanted to clear the air. Ain't nobody up here burning. Okay, I just want to make sure we clear.
okay, so black people can sunburn. Like
Yes,
melanin doesn't 100% protect you. Matter of fact, a lot of your sunburn comes from your diet. If your diet is bad, you will burn easier.
I burned in Africa.
So a lot of people don't realize that the more pigment-rich food you eat, the less likely you are to sunburn. Because your body will actually absorb the pigment and it will sit under your skin. And so it will actually absorb the UV rays that are coming in and it'll make it
Correction.
likely for you to burn.
Correction. When you said a lot of people don't know that is not totally true.
That is true.
No,
If
no, no,
you
no, no.
if
It's
you ask
only
the
the
average
people. Wait a
person, if
minute.
you ask
It
the
is
average
only
person on
the
the
people.
street, that's not true.
It is only the people who do not have the Dr. Inky books. I just want to make that correction.
So the average person does not have the Dr. Icky book. Can we just be honest here?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
See,
enough.
Chad, you cannot leave this man unsupervised. You cannot.
At
He
all.
needs constant supervision. He needs a handler. We got to make sure that clearly his mental faculties are not all there.
I got sunburned once in Cali. Yeah, it could go down. Inky
You have
got
to build up what's called a solar callus. It's just like, you go to the gym and, you lifting weights, you get calluses on your hands. It makes it easier for you to lift the bar over time and to make sure the bar doesn't slip out of your hand. The same way with you going out in the sun. If you don't get regular sun exposure, you have to train your body to be exposed to sun for multiple amounts of time. So you go out there, stay 10 minutes, go out next time 15, 20, 25. You build up your solar callus so you can take in more of that sunlight without getting burned.
Okay, that makes sense. Now the food you saying, like you are what you eat.
And especially when it comes to burning, absolutely.
Well, there's a very particular diet that we suggest all throughout the 200 plus books that we have released to the public. It is a high pigment, high fiber diet.
You can put the pigment right on top of the burger.
Yeah. So you had burnt wings with sugar on it.
Energy.
Not exactly.
Carbs.
No.
You said sugar's a carb.
You had polyaromatic hydrocarbons.
Poly who? Aromatic hydrocarbons. Tonight, what is he talking about?
Just ask the demons. What
I'm
are
asking
the
Tanai.
Okay, go ahead. I'm asking Tanai.
Polyaromatic hydrocarbons are molecules that are created when you grill and heat food past a certain point. They're known to be damaging to DNA because they're mostly flat structures. So again, we talked about this before, like when you see molecules in 3D, a lot of them take up space. They take up space in all three planes. Well, polyaromatic hydrocarbons are unique because they are generally just flat molecules. And so, DNA looks like a helix. When you have both of your strands together, it winds up like a coil. And so for your body to read the information in DNA, it has proteins that kind of ride up and down the helix translating information. So what'll happen is, because these polyaromatic hydrocarbons are flat molecules, they'll get in between the grooves. And so that'll stop the proteins that ride along DNA transmitting their information back and forth. It'll prevent that from happening. And when that happens, you get cell damage and then eventually apoptosis, or, you just get runaway cell mechanisms that happen because your body cannot transcribe DNA correctly.
That part. And so that was in your chicken.
That was in my chicken?
Look it up. That was in your chicken. Just look it up.
So white people gonna die.
No, 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 no. You are. Just the black folks with the chicken.
Why?
Don't
Why
include
just the
white
black
folks.
folks?
Don't include white folks with the chicken. Now that's what black folks is gonna have. That's a part of the diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease matrix.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's how chicken gets revenge on niggas.
So I don't know if I put this in the KeMedicine chat, but I did see this on the timeline, and I thought it was really interesting. So they were talking about or I think it was something about protein bowls and like how these restaurants are moving towards like this quote unquote protein bowl theme. And a lot of them are using chicken, right? But they're not using chicken breasts, they're using chicken thighs. And chicken thighs, when you go to the store, they are a little bit cheaper cut of meat, but you're basically getting the same amount of protein. But the thing about chickens is the majority of toxins that chickens have are stored in the thigh. So ask the Google demons what the ratio of toxin
Now,
in
hold
chicken
on.
breast is to chicken thigh.
I just want to remind HJ that I told him he was eating butt cheeks earlier. Now go ahead.
So ask the demons about the toxin content in the chicken breast versus the chicken thigh.
All in them butt cheeks.
I love the thigh. The thigh, that's the juiciness. That's the
Yep,
juicy.
all in them butt cheeks.
Hold on, I gotta bring up my other shit. Let me
Been
see.
eating butt cheeks.
Chicken thighs generally contain higher levels of heavy metals and toxins compared to chicken breasts, often attributed to their higher fat content. Studies show lead concentrations are slightly higher in thighs than breasts, and cooked thigh fat can contain over twice the toxic aldehyde levels of breast fat.
HJ is the Kevin Gates in the chicken world. He eating booties like groceries. Matter of fact, he eating booties as groceries.
Damn. I'm fucking up my chicken like that.
So it's just interesting that, a lot of these companies are starting to move to that theme. It is a cheaper cut, but I mean, when you get the cheaper cuts, you also get what comes along with it too. It's really interesting. John Harbaugh, when he was coaching, I think it was when he was coaching at Michigan, he made a statement about not letting his players eat chicken. So ask the demons what it was either Jim or John, I can't remember which Harbaugh it was, but ask the demons what Harbaugh's statement was about feeding chicken to his players.
It says here in 2018, Jim Harbaugh famously advised players against eating chicken, calling it a nervous bird, and arguing that consuming white meat instead of beef or pork could cause sickness. He later reversed his stance in 2023 after owning chickens, stating he was dead wrong and now finds them to be low maintenance, high production.
So it's interesting that he started off with that, right? And like now he's owning chickens. Like, oh yeah, so no, this isn't real. This isn't real. Now you got invested interest in it. Now you don't want to tell the truth no more.
He got
But
some
you have to think
chickens to
about that,
sell.
right? Y'all been talking the whole episode about the information that's being transmitted. And so if these animals are living in certain conditions, they're creating these metabolic signals, right? So at the time of butchering, whatever state that animal is in, you're absorbing those chemicals. You're absorbing those hormones. You're absorbing the chemical state of what that animal was in when it was killed. So it's not hard to see how sometimes, people go on a really heavy diet of eating a lot of meat and things like that, that they may start to feel changes in their mood, because you have to think you're ingesting the feelings and you're ingesting the molecules that make the feelings and the state of that animal when it's killed.
So we just gotta make sure we tell them a good night bedtime story before we.
So people did used to do that, like when people
I was
were
about to say
butchering
that's
their
where you
own
get
animals.
that's where you get the Jewish communities and the Islamic communities thing. They kind of took that to another level. But yeah, kind of similar.
What they do? What our
As they're
greatest
killing the
ally do?
animal and right before they do a little prayer.
Yeah, did they?
Try to soothe the animal's worries about getting its throat cut. Like, don't worry, we're just killing you. Don't worry, we're gonna eat you and everything. And calm down, keep it cool. Just let this happen.
Did Now they got this new one that knocks the nigga out before slaughter. Did you see that machine?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but the animals are
It's
pretty intelligent, so they can
it's
all
no, it's an
share.
electric
Like, hey,
shock. It's electric shock. It's electric
right,
shock.
but they're all telling each other, like, hey, right before you get shocked, they're gonna eat you after. Kill you, eat you.
How you gonna tell the story if you did?
Well, because animals are very intelligent. So the problem is that we underestimate animal intelligence. So when the animals, which are herd animals just like people, when they go into this room and they never come back, the other animals figure out, okay.
Go in
So
that
when they go in
room,
those
ain't coming
doors,
back.
yeah, when they go in those doors, that's the last time we're gonna see Daddy. If Daddy go in that room, Daddy is not coming back. So yeah, animals are not dumb.
They know.
They know.
So they nervous as soon as they go in that house.
They nervous as soon as they get captured.
Damn. So what do we do?
Well, we just ignore it and keep eating them and dying fast. Or we stop eating them and live a little longer.
That's gonna anger the white man.
That is not going to anger the white man because the white man has already started to do it and purchase all the vegan companies to help out his folks do it. The white man is
Strong Dad's gonna
already.
be upset.
Listen, outside of the internet, white people make up a much larger portion of the vegan community than black folks do.
They actually do.
Who makes the? We said white people.
Yes.
They own and control it. I used to be in that space. I used to do business in that space. They're all over that bitch. Yeah, that's absolutely true. But the other whites, like the carnivore whites, they'd be like, nah, I need this meat. I need this meat.
Those are the whites that are not reading. See, we can't help that. There's a portion of blacks and whites that are not reading. We have to allow those people to kill off one another.
So wait, so you telling me the white man could live without the meat?
I'm saying that the whites that are not reading Dr. Inky books and the blacks that are not reading Dr. Inky's books should go to war and kill each other off.
Why? They
They're in
swear
the
by
way
the carnivore diet.
because they're in the way.
They swear by the carnivore diet.
They can free up more oxygen and water and resources for the rest of us.
They be doing that shit for the Crohn's disease too. I know a girl, she said, I gotta have steak for my Crohn's disease.
All right. She hasn't gotten rid of her Crohn's disease.
But if she feels better after a steak, like it like alleviates.
She would also feel better if she snorted a few lines of cocaine. It doesn't mean it's affecting the Crohn's disease.
As she said, there's got to be a connection between the steak and the Crohn's.
No.
Well, if it's a microflora thing, then the more fiber that you feed to the microbiome, you might have some issues, but I mean, it just depends on it just depends on what your gut is already colonized with. If you got Crohn's, I mean, there's either some parasite activity going on, you have some kind of compromisation of your intestinal wall.
I was about to say that's going to be the first thing you got to wrestle with is diverticulitis.
Yeah, I mean, you have some kind of there's something like your gut is leaky somewhere. You have some kind of like the integrity of the lining of your intestines is not where it needs to be if you're having irritable bowel syndrome like that.
Does that mean your butt hurt?
Not exactly. But anal sex is a high risk factor for colon cancer.
I just want to know how you know that. Why was that a fact that you wanted to commit to memory?
Well, because I have to write books on these things. So that was one of the very interesting things that stood out when after the Black Panther and DJ Clark Kent and all that kind of stuff, and folks was like, Inky, we need the book on colon cancer. I was like, well, okay. There is a very interesting facet to that discussion.
Shout out to the YouTube chat.
Didn't they tell you that they were giving you stitches today?
I want to know about the story about me getting stitches, because I mean, you just been on here lying and slandering my name with no way for me to defend myself. That's all
And
right.
that is the
I'm
end
gonna
of
watch the
episode
playback.
45,
I'm gonna
people.
watch the playback.
Episode
No, 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 no.
45.
You're not talking your way out of this. I'm gonna watch the playback. I got something for you next week. Don't even worry about it.
Dang, that's crazy.
Can white folks live off of plants?
Sure.
Ain't you gonna get really skinny?
Well, I mean, isn't that model culture?
You saying that's what we should look like?
No, what I'm saying, really skinny is considered beautiful in most places. I mean, European places anyway.
Tonight, did you hear the responses to my melanin question?
I did not. I was driving.
So
It was ignorant foolishness.
I
You missed
asked,
nothing.
I asked my audience on X. I said, "What do you know about melanin?"
Mhm.
And
Oh, I
Wait
know
a
it was.
minute.
I know it was ultra racist, whatever it was.
said the more you have, the more likely you are to commit crime.
Oh man, that's funny. That's
Yeah,
really
this is
funny.
and it's just a bunch of comments, pretty much like that. You know,
Well, it's not necessarily that you will commit crime, but you are missing a part of your natural melanin system reacting to, sunlight. Because we live in a place that experiences four seasons, right? But our bodies are optimized to be in a place where you get sun basically year round.
mhm.
So we're in a spot where we get sun maybe about 60-70% of the year. And we also get the heat that comes along with it. And when you have a system that's optimized for about 10 to 11 months of activity, and you're only getting, 6 to 9 months of activity, the system does suffer. Like, you're going to have crashes here and there, and you're going to have things that don't perform the way that they're supposed to, because they don't have the proper energy input from the surroundings. And so while that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to create more crime or you're going to have more, belligerent behavior on average, that does mean that part of the natural system of electron transport is going to be disrupted for X amount of months out of the year. And that is a problem that you have to reconcile.
Mm.
And all that. Exactly what he said.
All right, so we're going to do one question tonight. That's really why I got on. I wanted to read at least one question tonight because the questions do be mildly entertaining. All right. As mentioned in previous KeMedicine episodes, introducing something into the human body exogenously dampens the body's ability to create that something normally. You'll be required to take it for life. Is this true for insulin in diabetics?
I'm sorry, I was having a dad moment. Rewind that back.
So the question says, as mentioned in previous KeMedicine episodes, introducing something into the human body exogenously dampens the body's ability to create that something normally. You'll be required to take it for life. Is this true for insulin and diabetics?
Well, and that's mostly true. When you introduce something exogenous, it's not. It doesn't happen like once or twice. You got to consistently introduce it so that your body goes, "Oh, okay, you got this covered." But when it gets to the insulin, I don't think that we have any cases on Earth ever. I don't think there's any cases of insulin like reversing diabetes on its own. I think that insulin over time you need more and more insulin. So I
Yeah.
don't I don't
Well,
want to I don't want to mix the context of the question with the answer because I think the answer would be slightly outside the context of the question, but people using insulin, they need more and more insulin.
so, and what that also, so let's make the distinction between type 1 diabetics and type 2 diabetics. If you're type 1 diabetic, you're taking insulin because your body's not making it for some reason. Could be genetic, could be viral, whatever. Your body's not making insulin the way that it needs to. When you're type 2 diabetic, that again is an energy utilization problem. So this goes back to the infinite intelligence of your body, right? Your body ignores your insulin signal because your mitochondria are not working properly. Your mitochondria are the things that are supposed to be processing glucose. So when you have too much energy available, or you have two different energy substrates, so you're talking about carbohydrates and fats, if you have too much of them at one time, your body has to choose which one it's actually going to use for energy. Most of the time, it's going to choose carbohydrates for energy and it's going to store fat. But when you're in a constant high insulin state, you're overloading the system with energy substrates. So your body, in its wisdom, uses the bloodstream as a release valve for sugar or for carbohydrates. That's why your A1C numbers are important, because it's telling you how well your mitochondria are processing the energy substrates that you're putting in. So when you give your body more insulin, you're telling your body to ignore the fact that your mitochondria are not working properly. And when you do that, you damage them further. And the more you damage them, the harder it is for them to recover from not being able to process energy, which is why you need more insulin over time. But your body essentially is opting to kill you slower versus killing you faster, because if you put more glucose into an already damaged mitochondrial cell, it's going to die faster, versus pushing it out into the blood and eventually over time trying to process the excess energy that's in the system. But by giving you more insulin, you just essentially say, hey, well, we don't give a damn that this bridge don't work. We're going to keep making people walk over it, and you keep walking over it, the bridge is going to collapse. So that's
And
what your
that's
body is doing.
and that's the reason why diabetics have to pee so often, because your body will attempt to get rid of salt or sugar via urine. And that's the reason why people that may not have been diagnosed as diabetic, if you're having excessive thirst or you're peeing too much, you may be diabetic and need to check that out. Those could be like early warning signs. And then the other part to add to it is that type 2 diabetics start out not needing insulin, but if you don't figure out the diabetes, you will become insulin dependent. So type 1 diabetics start off insulin dependent, but type 2 diabetics, they end up insulin dependent. So if you don't figure that insulin thing out, you if you don't figure the diabetes out, how to metabolize that sugar, you will definitely be on
So basically, what you're
the
saying is
insulin drip.
there's a lack of sugar metabolism happening, so they just spit it out into the blood, and that's what's causing the problem.
Well, here's the thing. Inside the Dr. Inky books, we talk about insulin being the automatic cruise control for glucose metabolism, right? So you have an automatic way to do it, but you also have a manual way. You have a manual way to metabolize sugar, because the target of most of your body's sugar is your skeletal muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So the manual way to metabolize sugar is exercise. So even if you're not, so you don't have to rely solely on insulin to help your
Regulate
body
the
get the sugar, right?
yeah.
You can, get to that 60 and 60 and get to, this is
Somebody
why
in
we
the
have the
chat said,
prayer.
how often is peeing too often?
I will say, if you find yourself, so if you, granted, you don't drink any excess fluids during the day, if you find yourself having to get up multiple times at night to pee, you're probably insulin resistant.
Mm.
If you eat a meal and you don't drink anything with that meal and you have to pee, chances are.
Mm. Ladies and gentlemen, it's It's been another episode of KeMedicine. This is KeMedicine 45. We'll be back next week with 46. Make sure you jot down those notes. Make sure you follow us. Hit the like and subscribe button over on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. The YouTube channel's growing. Shout out to Sleepy running the channel. You know what I'm saying? And
Send your prayers out for tonight.
some people said they wanted to send some super chats, but they can't yet. We gonna unlock the superpower soon. We're gonna unlock it. Just make sure you help us grow the subscribers, share it out, and we'll be able to unlock all those stuff, all those features in the future. See y'all next week, fellas.
I haven't lost yet!
Boring.
I've always been the weakest, and I've been mocked for it at every turn. But I still try as hard as I can. You see, I've been leveling up this whole time. I won't give in to fear. I can't get stronger that way. I'll fight, level up, and take what's mine.